mucho sabor. Se toca con poder, con cuidado, con calor. Se toca con poder, con cuidado, con calor. Bailemos a plena, 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 plena. Bailemos a plena, plena, mi corazón. Pa para
Since this is the last speech that I will give as president, I think it's fitting to leave one final thought, an observation about a country which I love. It was stated best in a letter I received not long ago. A man wrote me and said, "You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American." Yes, the torch of Lady Liberty symbolizes our freedom and represents our heritage, the compact with our parents, our grandparents, and our ancestors. It is that lady who gives us our great and special place in the world. For it's the great life force of each generation of new Americans that guarantees that America's triumph shall continue unsurpassed into the next century and beyond. Other countries may seek to compete with us, but in one vital area, as a beacon of freedom and opportunity that draws the people of the world, no country on earth comes close. This, I believe, is one of the most important sources of America's greatness. We lead the world because, unique among nations, we draw our people, our strength, from every country and every corner of the world. And by doing so, we continuously renew and enrich our nation. While other countries cling to the stale past, here in America, we breathe life into dreams, we create the future, and the world follows us into tomorrow. Thanks to each wave of new arrivals to this land of opportunity, we're a nation forever young, forever bursting with energy and new ideas, and always on the cutting edge, always leading the world to the next frontier. This quality is vital to our future as a nation. If we ever closed the door to new Americans, our leadership in the world would soon be lost. A number of years ago, an American student traveling in Europe took an East German ship across the Baltic Sea. One of the ship's crew members from East Germany, a man in his 60s, struck up a conversation with the American student. After a while, the student asked the man how he had learned such good English, and the man explained that he had once lived in America. He said that for over a year he'd worked as a farmer in Oklahoma and California, that he'd planted tomatoes and picked ripe melons. It was, the man said, the happiest time of his life. Well, the student, who'd seen the awful conditions behind the Iron Curtain, blurted out the question, "Well, why did you ever leave?" "I had to," he said. The war ended. The man had been in America as a German prisoner of war. Now, I don't tell this story to make the case for former POWs. Instead, I tell this story just to remind you of the magical, intoxicating power of America. We may sometimes forget it, but others do not. Even a man from a country at war with the United States, while held here as a prisoner, could fall in love with us. Those who become American citizens love this country even more. And that's why the Statue of Liberty lifts her lamp to welcome them to the Golden Door. It is bold men and women yearning for freedom and opportunity who leave their homelands and come to a new country to start their lives over. They believe in the American dream, and over they make it come true for themselves, for their children, and for others. They give more than they receive, they labor and succeed, and often they are entrepreneurs. But their greatest contribution is more than economic, because they understand in a special way how glorious it is to be an American. They renew our pride and gratitude in the United States of America, the greatest, freest nation in the world, the last best hope of man on earth.
Walking alone, minding my business, when out of an orange-colored sky, flash, bam, alakazam, wonderful you came by. I was humming a tune, drinking in sunshine, when
looking out of that orange-colored view. Wham, bam, alakazam, I gotta look at you. One looking eye out timber, watch out for flying glass. 'Cause the ceiling fell in and the bottom fell out. I went into a spin and I started to shout, I've been hit. This is it, this is it. I was walking along, minding my business, when love came and hit me in the eye. Flash, bam, alakazam, out of an orange-colored sky. Well, one looking eye out timber, watch out for flying glass. 'Cause the ceiling fell in and the bottom fell out. I went into a spin and I started to shout, I've been hit. This is it, this is it. I was walking along, minding my business, when love came and hit me in the eye. Flash, bam, alakazam, out of an orange-colored, purple stripe, pretty green polka dot sky. Flash, bam, alakazam, and oh, I don't have plans and schemes, and I don't have hopes and dreams. Baby, I just don't have anything, since I don't have you. I don't have fond desires, and I don't have happy hours. Baby, I don't have anything, anything, since I don't have you. I don't have you. I don't have happiness, and I guess I never will ever again. When you walked out on me.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello! Hello, NABE. Do you hear me? Buenos dias. We are in a bilingual environment, right? So I'll be going back and forth, maybe. Español, English. Okay, so on a serious note, can you hear me okay in the back? Man, the audio, the lights at Disney, they don't mess around. Everything's like butter. It's perfect. Okay, so many folks are packed into the room. Others are still coming in. But we will get started because we have to be like NASA. And we are a few minutes behind, so we're going to get going. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Ibeth Brusoil. And on behalf of Spectrum News 13, thank you so much for having me. Do you guys have Spectrum? Okay, round of applause. Who's here from out of state? Raise your hand if you're not from, oh Lord. Okay, so Spectrum is a big old company and they have 24-hour news channels. It's a cable company and they have also like a local CNN type channels and I work for one of them during the morning news. I got there at 3 o'clock this morning and then I ran over here and got stuck in traffic and was going, oh my gosh, am I gonna make it? But we made it. There's a beautiful prepared statement that I'm gonna get to in just a moment, but I have to tell you that when I was asked to be here for your 48th annual conference, NABE, I thought, my heart belongs to you. A tip of the hat to you. Here's why. I came to the United States when I was in 6th grade. I did not know a word of English. I came from Puerto Rico. ¿Qué pasa? Oh, we have big monitors. Oh no, I have to fix my hair. Ay, Dios mío, las pasas. So I came here as a child, as I fixed my hair, and I didn't know how to speak English, right? My mom said, you're going to have to learn this quickly. She did not want to do what is now offered. I don't think that was offered, to help you along the way. So we barreled through. It was very, very difficult, but I always have had a connection to my teachers who were tough on me, but they loved me. They were kind. They were strict. They were all kinds of things, but they molded me into the person I am today. So a tip of the hat to you educators, because without you, there's no me. I mean, I still remember my teacher's name, Mrs. Griggs, Mrs. Cox, Livingston, Dr. Lewis, who had a Corvette, I ended up buying the Corvette from him many years later. It's a long story. And then I sold it because it was so expensive to keep up with. And so fast forward to today, I'm a mother of an 11-year-old, and he has Asperger's. So all of the teachers in his life are so very special to me, because it's one thing to have a job, right? You can be very good at your job, but if there's that extra step, that extra TLC, that extra mile that you will do for a child like mine or others, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So thank you, okay? Gracias. Okay, Minnie and her staff prepared this beautiful thing, so I'm going to stick to the script. So thank you for having me as your mistress of ceremony for the opening of the 48th, sorry Disney Mike, 40th annual NABE conference. Let's go ahead and please stand, okay, for the presentation of colors by the Naval Sea Cadets from Freedom High School, right here in beautiful Orange County Public Schools, directed by Lieutenant Commander Johnson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag
That was Angelina who just, wow. I don't even have words. I don't even have words, Angelina. Go, girl. Whoa, right? We need to see you on some sort of reality TV show. Have you thought about that? Because you're like a really good singer. You can clap for Angelina. By the way, in case you're wondering, where's Angelina from? Angelina Pastores from Freedom High School right here in Orange County Public Schools. And she did a beautiful job. Thank you so much, Angelina. And now we would like to welcome Dr. Santiago Wood, Executive Director of the National Association of Bilingual Education. Good morning. Buenos dias.
Bom dia. Buongiorno. Buenos dias. Xie. Sawadi. Nil pase. Folks, we are living in a multilingual world, a global world. 10,000 languages, 7 billion people, 222 nations. We're all part of it. If we look at a globe, we put a pin on the globe, and that's what we represent. But the impact that we have, you have, the knowledge base in here is more powerful. It can elevate this building. And that's what we're all about. How do we prepare our students to go beyond what they're learning now into the future, being multilingual, multicultural, that moves the world, that's in our national defense, that makes them globally competitive, economically competitive, and they have a sense of justice and equity. That's what you are doing. Give yourselves a big hand. Applauding. Any organization like NABE cannot survive on its own. First, you have to have a great board. And I can proudly say this, I've been with NABE for a while now, and we have a tremendous board. A board that provides continuity, that provides a vision, that provides stability, a board that really cares about children, parents, and family. And it gives me great pleasure now to introduce the board. Whatever we accomplish as an organization starts with our board. There are 10 board members, nationally, 9 nationally elected, and 1 board member appointed by the elected board. And the board election takes place every year, and each board member serves for a 3-year term. The board is elected to represent certain regions and also elected at large. This coming, at the end of this conference, there will be 3 board positions available, regional positions for the Eastern region, the Western region, and the Central region. And now, the lady that is my second boss after my wife, that calls me up at any time of the night and say, Dr. Wood, I need you to attend this meeting with me. I'm meeting the ambassador of the council from China, or I'm meeting someone from Japan, the First Lady of Japan, Dr. Margarita Pincus, our National Board President. Can you, Margarita, when I call the board, can you stand in the front? I like the world to see the amazing job that you folks do. Margarita represents the Eastern region, and she's Assistant Superintendent for Global Affairs in Palm Beach County. After Margarita, sí, un aplauso. We have Dr. Josefina Tinajero Villamil. She is the National Vice President of NABE. And I'll do a little boasting. How many of us alive today ever have a school named in our honor while we're alive? That lady right there in Texas, Dr. Tinajero. Great to have you on our board. Following is Dr. Leo Gomez, is our national treasurer. Dr. Leo Gomez, middle name is known as Mr. DLI, the dual language vector for us. And then after Dr. Gomez is our national secretary, Licenciada Francisca Sanchez. Francisca represents the Western region, and she's from California. Dr. Gomez and Josefina Tinajero are from Texas, Margarita from Florida. After that, we have Judy Saudi. Judy, por favor. Judy is also elected at large, and Judy represents Chicago. Judy is from Chicago. Judy, you heard the folks give you a shout out, but remember, we have 42 states represented. 42 states and 20 international countries. Give yourselves a big hand. And we're so proud that 4 people came the farthest to be with NABE. They came from Guam and Palau, 32 hours. Give our Guamanian and our Paluan a big shout out. Next person we have is Maria Arejin Anderson, elected to represent the Western region. Maria is also from Texas. And then we have Clarissa Duskin. Clarissa, come up. This is a lady I'd like all of you to get to know personal, up close and personal. She represents the parents and the students on the NABE board. So parents, you are part of this journey, parte de esa jornada. And I'm being cut. So give a hand for our board. They're doing a fantastic job. Nilda Aguirre, where's Nilda? Nilda Aguirre. Nilda is probably doing something around here. But folks, having competent, committed, dedicated staff like Nilda Aguirre and the NABE staff and ourselves working for our board, we can do wonders. NABE se levanta. Dice, NABE se levanta. NABE se levanta. NABE rises again. And later in the program, we'll get a good strategic plan. Thank you very much for coming. Thank to all of our special guests and special VIPs from China, from Brazil, from Panama, from Colombia, from Costa Rica, Venezuela. We welcome you all. Have a terrific time. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos a NABE.
Wow, that was really eye-opening. 42 states and so many countries. That's incredible. I'm still in awe of you. You guys, I mean, the teachers are thankless heroes. I can't say that enough. And just remember, I'm at work on TV, and so there's a camera pointed at me. I don't see faces. Now I'm going, wait a minute. Who are these people here? You are the attendees. And so I'm still in awe of just hearing all this information. Okay, I'm following along in the script. I think we skipped a little bit. We already did the board on stage. That was this part here, right? So now I think we need to have Dr. Margarita Pincos join us on stage for a few words as we get started. A round of applause for Dr. Margarita Pincos.
Well, good morning, folks. It's great to be in Orlando, right? But it's even better to be in NABE, right? Well, it is, as Santiago said, NABE is an organization that is national, is anchored in the United States, but we recognize that our work has to be done globally. So we have recognized that NABE now has 4 international affiliates. We have 2 affiliates in China, and I don't know if the affiliates in China are here. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but if you are, just say hi. We have 1 affiliate in Mexico, and we have 1 affiliate in Spain. And I don't know if they're here, but you can go see them in the booth. There they are in the back. We also have representation from the Ministry of Education of Spain in Washington, at the Embassy of Washington, and I know that they are right around there, if I can see well. So again, they have a booth, so please make sure you visit them, and you visit all of the other exhibitors. That because of their exhibitors, we are able to form this partnership to bring all of you here. I also, since I'm in the mood to give thanks, I want to also give thanks to our local committee. Our local committee has been extraordinary. And I don't know if you want to raise your hand. They have been wonderful, a whole year working very, very hard to make this happen, alongside an incredible staff. NABE has a very small staff, a very productive staff. And our staff, led by Nilda Aguirre, has been incredible. So Nilda, thank you so much for the incredible work that you guys do. And of course, I want to thank my board, and we all take turns to be president. So that doesn't mean that we are all president at some point or another. So thank you for your confidence. I also want to recognize a special group of students, the BESO students. There's more than 70 of them here today. They're the future of NABE, the future of the country. There they are. And I want to tell you, they come from 4 universities, and I want to make sure that you guys go around by the job fair and the exhibit center so that you can secure a bilingual job soon in somewhere in the United States of America serving children. I also want to thank the Freedom High School, the choir. Weren't they wonderful? And thank you for letting us have them. And also, that was an incredible, I cannot say enough words about that singer here, and I'm sure we're going to see her on TV someday. And I just want to say thank you again for being here, and I'm sure they'll be coming back a lot of times, because we're going to introduce very important people now.
Thank you so much, Doctor. By the way, if you see me over here on my phone, I'm buried into my phone. This is the way that we operate these days, you know what I mean? It's social media, and I love to share with our followers the real time. So I'm posting it on Instagram, and that'll be followed by Facebook and Twitter. So I'm not trying to be that mom that's, you're talking to her and she's looking at her phone. Actually, I have a rule. As soon as I pick up my son at 3 o'clock every afternoon, the phone gets put away. People go, I've been calling you and texting you from work, and I go, this is my time with my son, and it's eye to eye, and I just sit down with him. So, but he's not here now, so I'm working. So I'm doing the social media, but I wanted to let you know that that's what I'm doing off to the side. Okay, so we continue. Actually, a personal thank you from me to the local board. I'm involved in various groups, professional groups, and so we put up, we put conventions like this very big. It's really hard to put this stuff together, and then when you go to a place and the local folks are helping you. So thank you to the local folks who helped put this together, because from the national level, that's the big picture, but it's the local folks wherever you're holding it, which is right here in Orlando. So, and I see many of you here, Dr. Griffin from Seminole County and other folks. We appreciate the local help, that's for sure, so you can get around a little bit better. Okay, following along here, I would like to welcome to the stage now this morning with us, Dr. Maria Vasquez, Deputy Superintendent, Orange County Public Schools, and Dr. Walt Griffin, Superintendent of Seminole County Public Schools, to provide their opening remarks. I am a product of Orange County Public Schools, by the way. Little footnote on that.
Buenos días. En nombre de la Superintendente Barbara Jenkins y las escuelas públicas del Condado de Orange, es un placer dar la bienvenida a NABE de regreso al Estado del Sol y específicamente a la Florida Central. On behalf of Superintendent Barbara Jenkins and Orange County Public Schools, it's a pleasure to welcome NABE back to the Sunshine State and specifically to Central Florida. We are pleased that you've chosen to host your 48th National Conference here in the Orlando metropolitan area, home to a multicultural community of 2.7 million residents. Orange County Public Schools, we're a team of more than 25,000 high-performing and dedicated administrators, instructional support, and professional staff members committed to our vision of being the top producer of successful students in the nation. A quick glimpse into our district will show you that we're the 9th largest school district in the nation and 4th largest in Florida. We serve a very diverse population of nearly 212 enrolled students who come from 165 countries and speak 157 languages and dialects. We are among the largest employers in Central Florida and operate one of the largest food and transportation systems in the area. For nearly 150 years, we have led our students to success with the support and involvement of our families and our community. During this conference, you will experience the magic. Biliteracy as a global imperative, enriched education for empowerment, equity, and excellence. As phenomenal advocates for bilingual learners, I'd also add 3 C's to that: commitment, climate, and connect. I applaud NABE's commitment to afford every child the opportunity to learn and achieve his or her goals. This audience is very much aware of the research and findings about the advantages of speaking and mastering more than one language. From perception to multitasking to effective communication, these are needed skills to be successful in a global marketplace. NABE's sensitivity and activism is needed more than ever in today's country of U.S. immigration enforcement. For students who are immigrants or children of immigrants, life can be quite fragile. Our schools, and thus you, serve as a safe havens for them. Continue to fight for policies that support immigrant education and their families, and that provide our elementary and secondary students with multiple pathways to reach their goals of higher education and career success. Finally, NABE offers you a wonderful and welcoming opportunity to connect and collaborate with others across the biliteracy community. I encourage you to take the time to network and exchange ideas with colleagues from around the nation and other parts of the world. Through these interactions, you will learn how to better steer students so that they will be successful leaders in tomorrow's global society. While you're here, I also invite you to discover the great things our metropolitan area has to offer in addition to the magic here at Walt Disney World. Orlando has a vibrant arts community and is home to the Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts and the Orlando Museum of Art. For you sports fans, unfortunately our Orlando City Soccer and Orlando Apollos teams are away this week, but the Magic is hosting the Dallas Mavericks at the Amway Center. Lots for you to do and explore. Wherever you go, I'm certain you will encounter the world-class hospitality and friendliness our nation is known for. En nombre de OCPS, nuevamente le doy la bienvenida a nuestra hermosa área de Orlando y espero que su conferencia sea un gran éxito. Muchas gracias.
We're live on Twitter. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's the new world order. It's social media. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I've ever done a Facebook Live while I'm on stage. First time for everything. Thank you, OCPS. And now, I just tagged you and you, by the way. Let's go ahead and bring in the Superintendent of Seminole County Public Schools, Dr. Walt Griffin. Here we go. You're live.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Central Florida. I get the opportunity a lot to speak at conventions and so on, especially in Central Florida, and usually I welcome everybody to our warm climate and enjoy the pools and the water, but it will warm up, I promise you. Yesterday was one of the coldest days we've had in a while. Let me tell you a little bit about Seminole County. We are north of Orange County. We have 68,000 students. We have 3,800 active ELL learners. We represent 101 different languages, and the top 5 languages this year are Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Portuguese. We represent 155 different countries, which include Puerto Rico, Venezuela, India, Colombia, and China. And we continue to show phenomenal progress with our ESOL and ELL learners academically and graduation rate improvement. As superintendent, I get the opportunity to spend a lot of time with the business community and figuring out what we need to do to prepare our learners for their future, not for my future. And I can tell you hands down that being bilingual is one of the top characteristics that the business community really wants in terms of globalization and internationalism. I was a principal and worked at schools a lot longer than I've been superintendent. It's my 7th year as superintendent. And as principal, I did something every week called student forums, and I have continued that as superintendent. So I have student voice. And I can tell you this generation of students is frustrated with the state of our nation and of our world. And I hear week after week, there is no better way to bring us together than for us to understand each other's cultures and experience each other's languages. And listening to our students and listening to our teachers and listening to our community and listening to our wonderful ESOL and World Languages Department, we have some accomplishments I'm very, very proud of. 7 of our elementary schools in Seminole County are dual language schools. Listen to this. We offer world languages at every elementary school. The seal of biliteracy has been awarded to our high school students graduating from world languages and from ELL. We have a powerful and successful ESOL Parent Leadership Institute that teaches our parents how to become involved, how to be leaders in the community, and how to have a voice with their child's education. We have a student initiative, a Carry On a Student Voice, called Latinos in Action. And these students are represented and actually have a leadership class at several of our high schools. So welcome, welcome to Central Florida. You are among a diverse group, and take this opportunity to learn from each other, to share best practices, and let's make this world the world that our students want, where we work together and get together as one. Thank you and welcome.
Okay, you want to hear some social media drama? I don't know what button I pushed. This is true. Some map has popped up. It's showing me like analytics of this live Twitter, and I don't know what's going on, but that's never happened. But we've got some viewers. You guys give me the most viewers I've had in a long time. What? We're going to keep this thing live on you guys, but now I can't figure it out. Okay, live people, you're going to have to wait because now I have to do my real job. Okay, so here's the deal. Now, I hope you have your phones ready, right? Because you have to talk about the good things that are happening here. And it's time to go ahead and recognize some of the folks. By the way, thank you so much, Dr. Griffin, for coming in today, and OCPS for being here. Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming and just showing leadership, because that's, you know, you have your foot soldiers who are doing their thing, but then you have to make sure that you give them those words of inspiration, especially as you get the event kicked off. By the way, the weather's supposed to be really awesome, so I know you're doing work. now, but then you got to have some fun, okay, while you're visiting us here in Central Florida. The weather's going to be really nice starting later this afternoon. I would like to go ahead and bring back up on the stage Dr. Pinkos as we continue with our program this morning. I think we're still live. Somebody give me a woohoo if you're following me live. No, we don't know. Okay, we'll have to push the buttons while you talk. Thank you.
Well, isn't that a great mistress of ceremony? She is so personal. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, I want to recognize one of our sponsors. We celebrate the Genius Plaza is our diamond sponsor this year. They have been coming to NABE for at least 5 years or more. And not only their mission is humanitarian, but also they believe that every student should be the protagonist of their own learning. So they provide services to facilitate that. On another note, I just want to make sure that you visit on Saturday. They're going to have representatives from Africa speak about their partnerships. But I think that everybody knows that Genius Plaza's parties are like the best in every conference and the more fun. So this year we didn't want them to take away the shine from us, so they have agreed to merge their party with our party in NABE. So Friday night we have a party. And Genius Plaza is going to be united with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to recognize them. This year they decided to step up and be diamond sponsors, and not only for this year, they have decided to step up their sponsorship for 3 years. So thank you so much. Jean Roca from Genius Plaza.
So thank you so much, board. Thank you so much for your hospitality. Margarita, phenomenal job. Nilda, great job. I would like just to spend a couple of words about the importance of languages and the project we have in Africa at the moment under the umbrella of NABE. Phenomenal job. We started a few years ago, but last year we went to Harare, Zimbabwe. We brought a delegation from South Florida, and we had an exchange with the African ministers there to see what we can do in Florida and how can we export the Florida example to the rest of the world. You know, we believe that every language has a dignity. It doesn't matter how many people speak their language, but every language has a dignity. And in Africa there is a huge debate right now between local languages and colonial languages. What's better? We say, no, you can do both. So we are offering tools in their own languages, you know, to be able to feel dignified, to feel part of history based on their roots. They don't have to deny where they're coming from, their culture, you know, their local identity, because they have to learn another language. We are telling them you can do both. We have seen materials that are not really culturally relevant. We've seen books produced by American company about kids skiing in Africa, seriously. That's not what we are doing. We are asking them to create their own content, and it's going phenomenal. So I'm very grateful to be here. You know, NABE for us felt like a huge family, a nice umbrella under which, you know, being able to develop this project. And again, on Saturday, please come. We have an African delegation here from 3 countries in Africa. You have Uganda, we have Zimbabwe, and we have Nigeria here. They have a lot to tell you about how we are, you know, putting together this bilingualism and multiculturalism under the same umbrella. And thank you so much again, the board, and Margarita, phenomenal job. Thank you.
And again, thank you for your partnership. It has been an incredible, very productive partnership. So finally, we are going to have our keynote speaker, and this has been a great day. I have to tell you that our keynote speaker has volunteered, and you know how all of us volunteer for these jobs. He has volunteered to be the superintendent advisor of NABE. So, so we want to make sure that whatever we do, we run it by superintendents, and Mr. Carvalho has volunteered to do that. And I want to tell you a little bit about Superintendent Carvalho. Alberto Carvalho is the superintendent for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. He has served He has served as superintendent of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, the nation's fourth largest school system, since September of 2008. He is nationally recognized expert on educational transformation, finance, and leadership development. During his tenure, he has become one of the nation's highest performing school system, receiving system-wide accreditation from Advanced Ed in 2014. The district has also been named as the 2014 College Board Advanced Placement Equity and Excellence District of the Year, as well as the 2012 winner of the Broad Prize for Urban Education. As a staunch believer in school choice, he has expanded choice options in Miami-Dade to include over 500 offerings, including programs in fine and performing arts, biotechnology, engineering, robotics, aviation, forensic sciences, and many, many others. An instructional leader, Mr. Carvalho is also the proud founder and self-appointed principal of the award-winning iPrep Academy, which has become a model of robust 21st century learning in the age of innovation and technology. Recognized by his peers as a leader, he has served as president of the Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents. He has been selected as Florida's 2014 Superintendent of the Year, as well as the 2014 National Superintendent of the Year. He was named by the Scholastic Administrator as one of the Fantastic 5 educators making a difference in America, and is the 2016 winner of the 2016 Harold McGraw Junior Prize in Education, as well as the Magnet Schools of America 2016 Superintendent of the Year. He has recently been appointed by the U.S. Secretary of Education to serve as a 4-year term on the National Assessment Governing Board. Mr. Carvalho has been awarded many honorary degrees, including a Doctor of Public Service by Florida International Universities, Doctor of Humane Letters by both Berry University and Florida Memorial University, and a Doctor of Pedagogy honoris causa from Nova Southeastern University. He has been honored by the President of Portugal with the Orden de Mérito Civil and by Mexico with the Audley Award. So it's a lot. He has accomplished a lot, so I'm not yet to accomplish, but for me, he's a good friend and also our new superintendent. Let's welcome.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the longest introduction of keynote speaker in the history of mankind. I am thrilled to be with you today. And what I hope to accomplish over the next few minutes is really a conversation about a personal journey that is identified, no doubt, by many sitting here right now, but equally important by millions across our great nation. A nation of immigrants, a nation of individuals seeking a better tomorrow, a nation of passion and above all compassion, a nation of honor, of values and beliefs that cannot be disturbed by superficial pronouncements that injure the soul of who we are and what we represent. And I want to begin this conversation by telling you, admitting to you, actually confessing to you that I have no right to be on this stage. This stage does not belong to me. It could not belong to me. I have no right to it. I have no ownership of it. And I'll tell you why. There is nothing in my historic DNA that would predict that one day there would be thousands of people sitting actually paying attention to anything I would say. Let me explain. You see, this stage cannot belong to me for the son of a third-grade educated seamstress and a third-grade educated custodian, someone who was born into poverty with 5 siblings, none of whom were able to graduate high school, someone who grew up in the projects in a one-room apartment with no running water or electricity, a curtain separating mom, dad from the kids, could not possibly be on this stage. But I'll tell you one thing, now that I do have the stage, it is my job, my responsibility to understand and to profess that the stage of hope and opportunity belongs to every single child across our country, regardless of their race, regardless of their nationality, regardless of the language they speak, regardless of their immigration background. For I am ready to confess to you something else. You see, the pronouncements and accusations against a lot of our kids and their parents belong to me. And if I have a right to be on this stage, they have a right to be on our collective stage that represents our nation. Let me explain again. You see, I am here, but I was not born here. And inasmuch as today we accuse those who seek a better life, renewed opportunities in this nation, need to recognize that many of us have lived, have walked the same journey, have experienced the same trials and tribulations, have faced the same challenges and often the same accusations. But I'm a believer that tragedy can be turned into triumph. And here's the truth. You see, if I had remained in my country, I would never have been able to go to college, for my parents had no possession or power to influence those who controlled our destiny. I would have become a casualty like my brothers and sister, two of them dying prematurely through absolutely curable causes. The others entering the workforce at 14 or 15. I myself having to work for 8 months scrubbing decks on ships to be able to earn enough money to buy a tourist vacation to New York City, like many before me. Yes, I'm here to admit to you that I was and am an unaccompanied minor, an illegal alien to this nation. Someone who came and overstayed his visa. But you see, the truth of the matter is, when I first arrived in New York City, nobody asked me for papers. Within 4 hours, I was scrubbing pots, washing dishes in the greasy kitchens of New York. Nobody cared about legalized papers. People cared about the fact that they could exploit my talent and my time and my resources almost for nothing, on the cheap. That continues to be the journey of the immigrant in America. And I'm sorry if you were expecting an educational conversation about bilingualism. I can do that, but you are the experts. I'm here to be clear evidence of who I am, who I represent, and who we collectively must fight for. I can no longer be silent about who I am, therefore denying those who have followed in my footsteps. Then I can deny who my father and my mother were. Turning my back on the children of America who today are being confined to unrealistic, inhumane conditions is turning my back on myself, and I cannot do that. And I say this in this context of an education conference that represents the ideals of bilingual education, the ideals of an inclusive society, the values of equity. I say that here, for NABE is all that, but NABE could also be our new America belongs to everyone. Our new America belongs to everyone, not just some of us. So my friends, my journey didn't just stop in New York. Yes, I was an unaccompanied minor, an illegal alien. I was once homeless in my community, blocks away from the office where today I work as superintendent. Without work papers, struggling to be who I wanted to be. A condition that no child should ever face. But sadly, many are being today pushed into the corners of darkness because we as a society are deeming them an inconvenience to our democracy. The day we stop being who we always have been is the day we inflict a mortal wound to the soul of our beliefs, the foundation of our democracy, the fabric of our flag. Now, as a new American, I cannot accept that, for I know the day we stop being who we are is the day we have to shout loudly to Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty, bring down your torch, turn it off, for the door is closed. To the hungry, to the meek, to the huddled masses seeking a better tomorrow. The diversity of our nation represents our strength, not our weakness. The better part of us is represented when we come together and profess our different beliefs under the same umbrella called America. So my experience has taught me a few things. It's taught me, number one, that in education and through education, we can turn anyone's impossible into everyone's inevitable. Through the power of joint and common belief, educated skill, and forceful will. Belief, for we need to have a vision about the tomorrow for our children. A belief that tells us that not only can all children learn, but that all children shall achieve. And there's a difference. You see, everybody shouts and gives speeches about the fact that every child can learn. And often the leadership at the hands of those who say that is willing to accept achievement gaps that are difficult to explain. And here's what I know. Every single achievement gap in every single community, including my own, is preceded by opportunity gaps that our children are born into on the basis of the zip code where they live, where they exist. And the failure of our government, the failure often of our leaders, is this expectation that by not eliminating the opportunity gaps that go along with poverty, with violent communities, with family detachment, with immigration fears and concerns, with lack of access to sustainable food and health care, that somehow by the time they turn 6 and they enter our schools, you, the teacher, shall fix it all tomorrow. Where is the rest of society? Where are the rest of the people who should care for the child from the time that child is born? You see, the time is now. We need to renew this sense of urgency that does not force children to assume some place, some number in line. What I know is that opportunity gaps, if not mitigated or addressed, mature into academic achievement gaps. And if little Johnny cannot read at grade level by grade 3 and cannot compute by grade 9, the likelihood that he or she will graduate high school by 12th grade on time or at all is significantly diminished. And those opportunity gaps that went unmitigated, often under-recognized or unrecognized, maturing into academic gaps, then become lifelong economic gaps. This is particularly more pronounced in states where we dare to do education on the cheap as $7,000 a year, but dare to pay $60,000 a year to incarcerate that same child. Just imagine the possibility if we were to flip that reality, where we would dare to at least double the investment in education, taking away a little bit of the cost of incarceration. Where could our children go? But you see, we're convinced. We are convinced that doing things the way we've always done them is better. But people smarter than me have told me that, no, that's actually the definition of insanity if we expect different results. And the time is now. Do not wait for a man or a woman in a superhero costume to come and save us and our children. The superheroes are sitting here right now. They are the educators of America. They are the teachers in our communities. They are the leaders who believe in public education, in private education, whatever education does right by our children. You see, I see teachers as the freedom fighters of our generation. Why? Because you are the first line of defense. You are the first responders of the crisis that afflicts America today. A crisis where more and more there's a rift between reason and reasonableness and the expectation we have for our children. A crisis that tends to separate us more than bring us together and unify us. And the only place in America, I submit to you, where that crisis can be cured is in the classroom. And since 90% of Americans are educated in public schools, the solution lies with us. You see, for the classroom is that special place where shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye, heart to heart, hand to hand, every single child is looked from up above and down below on the same plane, equal level, with boundless opportunity. It is in the American classroom, this American invention, that opportunity is born and created equitably. So the day we inflict wounds on public education, we are undermining democracy. And the day we undermine democracy, we bring about a fault to the nation that we know and believe in. So follow me. Democracy and education as two sides of the same coin, one indispensable to the other. That is why I don't turn my back on education. I do not turn my back on the classrooms of America, and I certainly do not turn my back on those who inspire our children every single day. We ought to honor them, dignify them, compensate them adequately, not put guns in their hands, protect the classrooms, honor what they do. Now, some will take some liberty and say, wait a sec, you know what, you're a public school superintendent, you should not be advocating those things. This sounds a little political. No, my only party is the party of children. My only party is the party of America, the party of those who believe that the future to come is at least equally important to the present we live in now. And protecting it and enabling it must be our moral imperative. So folks, you heard it before from my colleague, Dr. Griffin. You heard it before from our deputy superintendent here in Orange County. Depriving our children of a holistic education that is inclusive of exposure, meaningful exposure to foreign languages. Exposing them to a bilingual and multilingual reality. Accompanying this concept of bilingualism with biliteracy. Ensuring that we prepare our children for a better tomorrow by equipping them with a skill set that will make them viable, not just employees, but viable citizens of the world, is what can take place in our classrooms. I could talk to you and bore you with the research. Research that says that the bilingual child has a higher level of cognitive development that is accelerated just on the basis of exposure to a new vocabulary and a new language. I could tell you that the bilingual child excels in accelerated social and emotional development on the basis of exposure to a new language. I could tell you about the fact that the future workforce, the future work will require the skill set that the bilingual child has. For teamwork in highly diverse environments is the coin of the future. But you see, you know that. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Here's what I believe in. if we really believe, as we say, that the children are our future, let us do all that we can for them. Let us change the reality of the classroom across America. Let us change the dynamic of the school year that sees every single child start the school year on the same day, and 180 days later, or 200, finish the school year at the same time. For no two children learn at the same rate or in the same way. If we believe in the future of our children, let's diversify through accountable choice opportunities for our kids, but publicly delivered choice. It can be done. If we believe in the future of our children, let's provide them exposure to foreign languages. Let's honor all of them, born in this country or not, with the same equal right to a high-quality education that is delivered in a high school, a middle school, or an elementary school, not in a detention camp. If we believe in the future, let us ourselves reinvent us into a better version of who we are, if we are to get it right. So my friends, some of my colleagues told you who they represent. You see, I represent that. Over 350,000 children, many of them coming from countries across the globe, bringing their spicy nature and different DNA and linguistic ability and God-given talent that cannot be denied to them, all coming together in this beautiful melting pot, a soup of hope. Now, some would look at this demographic profile and would say it is impossible to do right by all of them at the same time. And I'm here to tell you that that would be a lie. You see, when close to 70% of the kids are poor, 80,000 of them are English language learners. A lot of folks would say impossible. A system with that demographic profile cannot succeed. But here's what I know. If we decide to change ourselves, the results will follow. If we are determined, if we are courageous, if we elevate the needs of our children above the interests of the adults, they will succeed. If we set high expectations, they will rise to the opportunity. If we decide to leave our adult anchors behind and be able to chart a new course for them, they will achieve levels that are unprecedented. So I'd be lying to you if I did not put up a couple of slides to show you how the impossible can become the inevitable. And to do that, I take you back to 10 years ago. You see, I've been superintendent 10 years in a large urban school system, which is the equivalent of about 100 dog years. We usually get fired after 2 years on the job. So the stars have aligned. But you see, the stars don't align by magic or destiny. We create our destiny by our own design. And that's what a good teacher does in a classroom every single day. So here's how the impossible became the inevitable in just a short period of time. By replacing ineffective principles with highly effective principles. How about 80% of them? Encouraging, negotiating honorably and legitimately with our union partners to dignify the profession. This past year, passing a referendum that resulted in salary increase ranges, buckle up right now, folks, from 13% to 22%, catapulting salaries in Miami from below national average to above national average. It can be done if you will it, if you fight for it, if you bring a narrative of success to your community. By diversifying choice, allowing parents and students to choose something that excites them. By bringing foreign language education as a mandate beginning in second grade for all students in all schools. offering Spanish, Portuguese, Hebrew, Chinese, and beyond, 14 different languages in Miami-Dade to 175,000 students. 30,000 of them in dual language programs as we speak. Contracts negotiated with 5 different countries, extending diplomas that are recognized in the US and in those nations. That is how you build public education. Now you may ask me, well, Alberto, did it work? Well, for the first time, 2 years in a row, Miami-Dade County Public Schools has 0 F-rated schools. 98% of our schools are rated A, B, and C. The percent of A-rated schools in Miami is much higher than the state average, even though our poverty level, our diversity level, our ELL percentage is much higher than the state's. How is it done? Because we have the right amount of belief, skill, and will. We believe in choice. We empower teachers. We support parents. We leave no one behind. Everybody is on this journey of success that travels in unison because we believe together and we achieve together. If that is not enough, what happens after 12 years? Well, I remember back in 2008, graduation rate slightly above 50%. Today, some would say they are at 85.4%. That's kind of cool and impressive, but that's including charter schools. If I take out charter schools, it goes up to 89%. Surprise, surprise. Now, I believe in education for all, but I believe in truth for all by all. And data does not lie. Now, that does not mean that I sleep well every night. You see, what keeps me up at night is not the success that we built yesterday. What keeps me up at night are those 11% who, no matter what we've done, they continue to not graduate. I am not one who rests in the shadow of yesterday's success. And those 11% represent those children in your communities and my community whose parents did not graduate, whose grandparents did not graduate, who were born into poverty, who were immigrant, who dealt with disabilities, whose opportunity gaps were never identified, who were food insecure from the moment they were born, who never knew a hug, who never understood or felt early childhood education of high quality, who never picked up a violin and composed their own music. That's what forces me to lose sleep every single night. So my friends, that's where we are today. But there's so much more to do, just like the work before you. As I said before, do not wait for that superhero to come, flying from the sky with an unfurled cape. If you look under your shirt, there's a big S. You are the superheroes for our children. You have the right balance of belief, skill, and will. You have the determination. You have the collective courage to change their outcomes, to change their lives. Some would say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. I say that a video is worth 1,000,000. Take a look.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Yes, I can. Doubt, better leave. I'm running with this plan. Pull me, grab in the bucket, can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st. Oh, you like that gossip? Like you the one drinking what's gossip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you want? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit speaking and it's done. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest to that sun. Deep 5 in the US to Taiwan. Now who can say that? I wanna play back. Mama knew I was a needle in a haystack. I'm a valley boy, let's lay back. I got a feeling it's a rap. ASAP. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. Get a feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. Get a feeling that I never had before. I get a good feeling,
The mountains pop, walk on water. I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike for you. Diamond, platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That soul, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitcher's mile. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. I get a good feeling.
Let's get it. I know you got the good feeling. Let's get it. Gotta love the life that we live in.
I get a good feeling, yeah.
So as I close, I'd like to show that video, if for nothing else, to encourage you and to inspire you into telling your story in a way that resonates with everyone. Flo Rida does it for me. But then again, I'm a Miami guy. But every community has its own voice. Every community has its own soul. Embrace it and wrap your educational message around the soul of your community. So my friends, let me thank once again Margarita Pincus, the entire NABE board, Santiago Wood, and those of you who believe in the power of our country. And I close with these words. I don't belong on this stage, but to the extent I made it, there's no reason as to why America's children can't as well. So may you walk 1,000 miles. If you carry no one with you, you will not get anywhere. May you climb 1,000 mountains. If you do not elevate a child from a place of darkness to a place of light, you will not reach your own mountaintop. May you swim 1,000 oceans, as many do to get here. If you save no one, if you rescue no one in your journey, you will not save yourselves. May you build 1,000 walls. If you do not dare to build a bridge to help a child through it, you will not build a better America. Thank you very much.
A shadow across the blue Miami.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Alberto Carvalho. The 305 in the house. What? Dios mío. So many things that we will think about. I hope all of you will in that video. And like he said, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but when you stick a video up there, it's incredibly moving. And Dr. Carvalho, kudos to your production department, your communications department. They're with you today. We're in TV and I'm going, my goodness gracious, are they with you today or did you come solo? Well, you tell them we said, wow, to that video presentation. It really, really moved, right? It was a sizzle reel. So thank you for the inspiring words. Everybody, you got a standing ovation. They were all like this. I stopped doing the Facebook Live because they were all doing it. I said, you know what? They're doing it already. Okay, I would like to invite to the stage this morning, as we thank Dr. Carvalho, I would like to go ahead and bring up to the stage Dr. Pincos, who will present the first ever, you remember your first anything, first ever NABE Superintendent of the Year Award. Get your phones ready, it's happening, folks.
I would like to ask the board to come with me to help me give this award, if you don't mind. And as they come up, I will tell you, it's very hard to choose the Superintendent of the Year and give an award because many of our superintendents are very helpful and they really join us and they're part of the success of NABE in every region. But this year, I strongly proposed this presentation because Mr. Carvalho came to me and he says, I believe in NABE's mission. And I also believe that when you believe in something, you should be part of it. I want to help. And I'm sure that you know how busy he is, but he says, let me know how I can help NABE. I would like to do whatever it is that you need humbly and in any way that I can. And he has, and we are going to have every month our NABE news, and I hope that all of you follow it. He's going to write an article for it talking about bilingual education, and he would be the voice that helps us see things from the point of view that large communities have needs, and also large communities that believe in bilingual education. So it is my honor and the honor of our board to give for the first time in NABE the Superintendent of the Year Award to Superintendent Alberto Carvalho.
Get the show on, get paid. Only shooting stars break the mold. Go for the moon. Go for the moon. Go for the moon. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars. Somebody once asked, could I spare some change for gas? I need to get myself away from this place. I said, yeah, what a concept. I could use a little fuel myself, and we could all use a little change. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Back to the rules and I'll hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.
Congratulations, but no words. I guess he said enough already, right? He said it all previously. Okay, very nice. Congratulations, Dr. Carvalho. But that's a big deal. Big applause. The crowd was going crazy. You can give another round of applause. It's a big deal. Okay, I would like to call Dr. Santiago Wood, NABE Executive Director, and Francisca Sanchez, NABE Executive Board Secretary, to present NABE Annual Report to the membership and NABE's strategic plan. Where do we go from here?
Getting jiggy with it.
getting jiggy with it.
Before I start, can you join me? Yvette, come on up front. Isn't this lady a marvelous, wonderful, exciting, extraordinary MC? I do this many times for special VIP. My only NABE lifetime pin now belongs to Yvette. Awesome job. Un aplauso para Yvette. Gracias, Yvette. Maravilloso trabajo. Muchas gracias. Before we close, we are going to beg you for about 12 more minutes. I will do about 4 minutes, and my board member, the National Secretary, Francisca Sanchez, will share with you the NABE strategic plan. You are the NABE member. You are NABE, and NABE is us. So I will do where we are, a quick status report. First of all, they may run some graphs, but I'll just run it off quickly. Because of you, because of your support, because of your commitment, because of our strategic partnerships, because of our board, many of us, many hands involved, NABE now for the last 4 years has been debt-free. We have paid all our bills. We owe nobody. We have some reserves in the bank invested, and we are making the grade. So that covers the financial picture. This has been going on for the last 5 years, and many of you know, like many nonprofit national organization, we have ups and downs. But thank God we're going all the way to the star. We're going from the impossible to the inevitable, like Dr. Carvalho said. From the impossible to the inevitable. Second, our strategic partners are really paying off big. All of you need to give yourselves a big hand. You know what we did collectively? We stopped the federal government from closing OELA's office. It's all because of you. Give yourselves a big hand. OELA exists, the Office of English Language Acquisition. Office that supports our English learners and supports our bilingual dual language teacher. We were able to work collectively with a group of strategic partners like the JNCL, the Joint National Committee on Languages. Dr. Bill Rivers is here, our legislative leader and guru. Dr. Joel Gomez, Cal, the Center for Applied Linguistics, AFT, American Federation of Teachers, all of you that sent letters and reports into the Secretary's office saying that OELA is doing a terrific job. We need OELA to continue to work on the field. And for the first time in 11 years, there are 2 bills, one in the Senate and one in the House, that is being proposed. It's already in bill form with co-sponsors from both sides to provide for the first time in about 12 years financial, long-term financial, strategic support for professional development for bilingual and dual language teachers. This is a first. And because of Ana Jimenez, because of NABE, because of our Hispanic Education Coalition, because of many of our strategic partners, AFT and all, we're able to achieve that. What you have seen in the video that might be running are a number of achievements over the years, but those are the most significant ones. And with that, I'll invite my colleague, Francisca Sanchez, give her a big hand to tell you a little bit about the NABE new strategic plan. Francisca.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I'll like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. You, the silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we would take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Good morning. My name is Francisca Sanchez. I serve as the NABE Executive Board Secretary, and I had the distinct privilege of helping to facilitate the development of Rise Up, our new organizational strategic plan. You know, Paulo Freire, who we all love and honor, told us that education either functions as an instrument which is used to facilitate integration of the younger generation into the logic of the present system and bring about conformity, or it becomes the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. He reminds us that this is what is at stake, transforming our world, and we are at a remarkable moment in NABE history. We have an unprecedented opportunity to reposition ourselves as the nation's most powerful and responsive experts and advocates for English learner education. And we have taken a clear stand. Our vision for English learner success and our leadership strategy represented by Rise Up will be the drivers of our decision-making and improvement efforts. As part of this moral imperative and guided by a commitment to equity, high expectations, and accountability, we have resolved to provide a safe and healthy learning environment for our children and youth, to prepare all of our English learners to be college, career, and 21st century ready, to ensure English learner achievement drives our decision-making, and create an environment that promotes actively engaged and supportive communities. It addresses the success of English learners in a comprehensive manner that builds on their languages, cultures, and lived experiences to graduate them prepared for success in college, career, and the global world that is their reality. As a fundamental approach to launching and rolling out this plan, NABE has committed to a process of community engagement with the anticipation that relationships among and across a most diverse group of educators and stakeholders will be strengthened and ownership of the issues will result. This monumental and innovative effort to move an organization and a community to the forefront of powerful and transformative education for every English learner creates a unique opportunity to make an incredible and sustainable impact for our students, our families, our schools, and our communities. Collectively, we will build on our experiences to move multilingual learning into a new arena. And so today, we share with you the outline of our plan, Rise Up. And if when you registered for this conference, you did not get a little fold-out information card about Rise Up, please make sure that you go back to the registration desk and get one of those. Because to paraphrase Andra Day, we'll rise up, rise like the day. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up high like the waves. We'll rise up. NABE will rise up. Thank you so much.
Just a couple of quick reminders for you. Remember, those of you that want to attend our Teacher and Student Award Luncheon tomorrow, go to the NABE registration booth and you can get the details on that. I want to also ask you, we all have these communication devices. You can download the NABE app 2019 and you can see the entire program, you can see the schedule, you can get an update, any changes that are made on the NABE app. You'll see some of the programs that NABE supports, the Seal of Biliteracy, My Name, My Identity, the National Spelling Bee, our CAC, which is the Corporate Advisory Council that NABE formed this year under the leadership of Dr. Tomasita Ortiz, former education officer with Agmos and Mendez. And also we created and developed a dual language, an international dual language advisory council under the leadership of Dr. Joel Gomez. And NABE is very pleased internationally to support Enseñanza Bilingüe, one of our most active international affiliates, and we have basically endorsed them for all of the countries in Europe that wants to develop dual language or bilingual programs. Enseñanza Bilingüe, that's also available on the app, and they have an annual program every October 19th through the 21st. It's going to be in Granada, Spain this year, Sevilla. I invite all of you to try to attend that. And then finally, in Puerto Rico se levanta. In Puerto Rico, we're having the 5th annual NABE Dual Language Symposium in Puerto Rico at Ana G. Mendez University. We hope to see you there June 26, 27, and 28. You've got to be there. And then in October, we'll be going to New York to support the UTF, United Teachers of New York, over 3,000 that are focusing on dual language instruction. That's going to be October the 17th, 18th, and 19th. NABE will be part of that, so we invite you. We're doing a lot, folks. We're moving together, we're moving forward, and we're taking Dr. Carvalho's suggestion to us. We're converting or turning the impossible into the what? Inevitable. Have a great day. Check your app, work through. We're glad you're here, all the newbies and all of our people. Can you raise up? Se levanta. NABE se levanta. Okay. Thank you. Muchas gracias. And just follow your app.